Welcome back from that short commercial break there. I'm in the studios with Morphin and Kwame Sabi and then Perez Ezra. Guys, welcome to Soccer Man. Morphin, it's been a while.
Yeah, thanks for
the girls miss your English. They're all the time calling in, asking where the Englishman is and all that. But you're here today. I'm sure we'll hear from them anyways. But I hope you're good.
I couldn't have asked for more. I'm okay.
Yeah. Well, Perez.
We are well.
Oh, thank you. Well, let's start. The show with some of the local news making with, especially some statements made by Neil and Van der Poel. It was going on through the waves. We didn't have concrete evidence about it, but yesterday on another platform, he emphasized some of the things that were going on. Via airwaves. People said it was rumors, it wasn't true. He came out to endorse some of them. Some of them he said were not true, and we shouldn't really give an ear to that. But I don't know if you listened to him, but one of the things that he said, that really caught my eye, because soccer money will always want to look at the money aspects of football, that in his tenure, he's tried to cut down a lot of, management costs. Some of the costs that, he looked at and felt like, this is useless. This we don't have to pay for this. He just took all those out. And some of them, he said, were some of the management, bonuses. So management members of the Black Stars or Black Stars management members will not take bonuses anymore. If they will take, or if they want to take, they have to come to his office and justify why they deserve that money before he gives them those bonuses. So as it stands now, in the Mauritius game that we played, they didn't receive any bonus for that. He went on to say that, some tickets that were being given to people for free, he's not giving those tickets to people for free anymore, because those people are well-to-do and can buy those tickets more than we, the other fans who come into the stadiums with our 5 cedi to sit at popular stands and all that. He thinks those people are rich enough to buy their own tickets, so why should he give them free tickets? And he also went on to say that the VIP stand is where the tickets are sold for even higher prices and are supposed to even make more money, for the Black Stars. But those are the areas that are even giving out for free. So at the end of the day, they don't make a lot of money. He went on to say that Black Stars played a game in Kumasi, and they had something close to 70,000 Ghana cedi, and the stadium was packed to capacity. People were sitting on the floodlights here and there. But against was it the Mauritius game we played at Accra recently? Yeah, Mauritius game. He didn't say the stadium to be
Mozambique.
full. Mozambique.
Mozambique, yeah.
Stadium wasn't full. There were not a lot of people. People were even complaining as to how come the stadium was so empty. But he clocked 150,000 Ghana cedi. That's against the one that happened in Kumasi, where he had, stadium being filled to capacity and all that. That is because he put in some security measures on the tickets. He made sure that the tickets cannot be given out for free. So there were some security features. And even with that, he even said that upon getting the tickets booklets, some of them were missing from the booklets. Some tickets were out. And he warned the printing press that, if this thing happens again, you lose your job, I'll give it to another person. So lots of measures he's putting in place. Do you think that he's causing his own downfall, or it's a step in the right direction?
Okay, I'll start by saying a very good morning to our charity viewers out there. After the appointment of the sports minister, his appointment was greeted with much excitement for varied reasons. One, it had gotten to that point where we were all clamoring for one who would stamp his feet and then be able to walk the talk. Enough of people doing the word salad and garnishing the tabloids and then the front pages of newspapers with all the heavyweight grammar and doing very little, in stark contrast to what they say. So his appointment was one people were keenly observing and looking at. He being a football person, as we would put in our parlance, being able to walk the talk and do the things that people have been saying should be done for so many years now. People were always looking at him and judging him because he's had odors of experience. I hear he's been a commentator before, and he's been a sports presenter as well.
Been a sports man,
so, and he's been an athlete himself. So
he's gone into administration as well.
So much was expected of him, and thus far I think he is doing very, very well. Why do I say so? It has gotten to that point where it was imperative to separate fact from fiction. Enough of the rumors and then the hearsays. But it was time for somebody to help us separate the chaff from the proper meat, the fact from the fiction. Is it true that management members are being paid? From afar, most of us were made to believe their work was purely sacrificial.
Yeah.
But you see people are taking off or for one reason or the other, and it seems to have hit them so badly for apparently doing a sacrificial job. So it was becoming kind of more or less very difficult to understand, because if it is purely a sacrificial job you are doing, why then the craze and then the burning desire to be there by all means, fair or foul? So it was very important for all of us as a country to get to this point. I think he made some points that are worth applauding or worth some plaudits from us. He made a point like, if the affluent are going in for free, why then should the poor pay? And I think it's a very valid point he was making. Time and again, we do say, yeah, it is true, they are the big men in society. But it should start from there. If they are the big men, they should lead the way by at least paying something. Enough of the freebies. If you want your neighbor's business to thrive, do not borrow things from the person, or do not take things on credit. Pay the person for what he or she is doing. And I think it's applicable to this situation of ours. Enough of us doing the freebies, enough of people going in through from all the angles, and then at the end of the day, you see a fully packed stadium, but we have very little to show. For now, I think he's being very, very strict. And with this thing he's doing, he's going to earn some enemies. Yeah. Inevitably, he's going to earn some. He made a very interesting point that people are saying that if this is the path he's going to tread, the Osu Cemetery is not very far from him. And I think you look at Neil Ante, and I do not know him personally, but if his demeanor, his posture, his actions and inactions are anything to go by, then he is that very tough, rugged man. I do not want to disrespect anyone here, but looking at where he's coming from, you know, the very tough, or what we call the Enyode, the Takashi people, that is where our minister is coming from. So I think some of these things will be like throwing some cushion off the thigh of an elephant or something. It's not going to have any significant impact on him. The way is up for him. He has started very, very well. I'm just hoping that, unlike his predecessors, he will not be tempted to veer off the path in the midst of all some of these yeah, how do I put, antagonism that would inevitably come his way. Because looking at the path he has chosen to tread, antagonism is inevitable. He's going to face enemies far left, right, and center. But he should have his eyes fixed on what he's planned to do. And I think with the backing of people like, I don't want to mention anybody's name, with the backing of people who have been clamoring for a little bit of transparency and accountability, I think he has so far garnered plaudits far and wide for the way he has started. If he's able to continue, it's going to inure to our advantage going forward. The Black Stars keep milking Ghana, and quite unfortunately, we haven't had anything to show for all the milking they've been milking. We do go to a tournament, and someone who goes to show someone another place to buy something is giving something. And some of these things are mind-boggling. Boy, and then you give the person it's
hefty amounts of money for just giving you direction. I'll take such a job for any who would decline such an offer? So I think it's long overdue, but better late than never. The path he is treading is one that would in the long run inure to our collective advantage as a country, because he also alluded to the fact that if management members are to be that many at not only the Black Stars, you know, all the national teams do have management members, and all of them are being paid, because per what he was saying is that though all of them are being paid. I don't know how they are being paid. Yeah. Because initially we were being tempted to think it was a purely sacrificial job. So if they are being paid to manage the Black Stars, what then becomes the work of the FA itself? Is the FA some white elephant sitting somewhere and then just occupying space matter? What are their duties, even if you ask me?
I wish I had an answer.
If you have about 7 or 6 management members taking care of the Black Stars, what are they doing? And what is the GFA doing? And those people who've been employed at the GFA doing as well? Okay. And that's a big question.
Post the 2014 World Cup brouhaha, allegedly it was being rumored that Sule said there were so many of the management people around, and you look at the players around, and you look at the playing body, and you juxtapose it with the number of people around, and it did not tally. Because if you had about 23 players, and then roughly there were about 11 management, is it 1 to 2? Is it like
what are you doing for that? Do they bat them?
So you wonder. you want
and they take a cut out of their, you know,
they do take.
It's alleged though. So I mean, the fewer the merrier.
Coefficients and blah blah blah. So I think if some of these things would spare the country a whopping amount of some coefficients, I think we can save some of the money to help the other sectors that are suffering, obviously because of our over concentration on the Black Stars. The minister, by his initial months, I think so far so very good. He should keep his focus, and some of us who are clamoring for the reduction of these coefficients and blah 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 have his back.
Well, do you think, Perez, that he's stepping on a banana peel and very soon he's going to slip, because now he's beginning to cut some, you know, I don't know what word to use, maybe more if you can help me, but some benefits that were before, you know, available to some of the management members, available to some of the supporters union and those other people. I mean, he's beginning to take all of them away now. Now, I heard him say that even the supporters union usually come to the stadiums for free.
Yeah.
And these are about almost 11 to 20
more than that.
Close to
supporters union. And if all of these people are getting free tickets, maybe 50 tickets free just to come and support the Black Stars, you ask yourself, how much are they going to make in terms of gate proceeds? So he's taking all of them out. Now he's also cut off the management members' fees as well.
He personally would pay to enter the
yeah, exactly. And he's also made sure that the bonuses have been cut down. Is he not creating a lot of enemies for himself? And it's only a matter of time that he's you know, sacked or probably maybe moved out.
You know, I think that his background as a journalist, you know, and as a soccer administrator, it's what has informed some of the decisions that he's taking, because now he's been a journalist before, he's aware of some of these things, and now he thinks that, okay, now that I've taken this position, knowing very well some of the things that goes on, you know, when it comes to Black Stars matches, I have to put certain measures in place to curb this menace. And, you know, the NDC government, post-2014, have been trying hard, you know, to stop some of these things because of the disgrace that happened in 2014. Yeah. The previous minister was brought in purposely for this purpose, but he adopted a strategy that did not go in his favor. He adopted either take it or leave it attitude, you know, and that did not go well. And the FA, whether you like it or not, they also have powers, they also have influences. If they want you to fail, they can make you fail. But Honorable Nilante, because of his background as a journalist, has got links. He knows how to talk. That's why he was able to talk to the players for them to slash their bonus 2,000 from the 10,000 they normally take. So he's got experience. As to whether he will offend people or not, that one is inevitable. You know, he's taking a path that's quite dangerous, because now they're trying to block people from getting certain monies that they've been getting. So they obviously get offended. The truth is, once he gets the support from the person who appointed him, but that's what the president wants to do. Once you get the support from above and everyone supports him, okay, we know what this is what we want to do. We have to cut down the number of money we spend with the Black Stars, and the support from the presidency is there, because I understand he's one of the minister that the president loves most. And once he's got his support, once the president assures him, okay, do whatever you think it's right in the eyes of the country, because Honorable Nilante says his principles are three. One, everything must be done in the interest of the sport. Two, in the interest of Ghana. And three, in the interest of both Ghana and sports. And once he's taking decisions that are going in the interest of all his principles, and those who appointed him are okay with it, I think that we as a nation, we've been clamoring for people like him. Yeah. Someone who walk the talk, someone who will not come, only speak on radio and say, okay, I'll do this, and that. I had issues when he was appointed, because I felt he was doing too much talking. But now everything seems to be going well. He's being quite well. He's pulling certain strings that his predecessors feared doing, and now things are falling in place for him. I just hope that the presidency, which appointed him, will not be cowed or will not be swayed by certain actions that the FA or all other bodies will take, and will keep supporting him for him to implement some of the things that he's doing. And we need drastic, you know, measures to be put in place if we really want the Black Stars, you know, to be seen the way we want it to be seen, to play the way we want it to play. We spend too much money on this team. We don't get too much, but hey, here is someone who is ready to put an end to some of these things. So let's just support him. I just hope, and I keep saying this, that I hope that the presidency will not kick him out, because I'm sure once he starts offending people, now I'm hearing that he's recommended certain people in the sports authority to be sacked. Now the FA, from what we've picked, they are not appeased with the things that he's doing. Yeah. I'm sure the other sporting associations too, he'll be doing certain things over there. Those people can come together and say, okay, we want to pull him down. And if he doesn't get the support of the person who appointed him, he obviously fails. So once the support from above is there, and once the nation is okay with what he's doing, I think that we just have to pray for him. He has barely less than 9 months, less than 8 months to go. If he can do something, substantial in our football, we'll be happy. So let's just support him.
Support is what he needs right now. But if you look at some of the proposed or some of the expected changes that he will be making, it's good. But you ask me if he can pull that off. Now he's trying to cut down the size or the number of the management members, and make sure that at least you get about 1 or 2 management members to take care of the national teams, because he feels that what's the work of the GFA? I mean, if you have about 11 management members and also 6 management members taking players to tournaments each time, the players themselves are about 23, and you have about 11 management members going there, also sleeping in hotels that are paid by the government and all that. He thinks all these things are problematic, and because of that, he's going to cut all these things down. The number of people around the team, like ACN and Muntari said, are going to be cut down, which means that automatically the bonuses that they were benefited from will be going down. Already, he's saying that they have to come and justify. So if he cuts it down, then it means that at least it's even taking it down even more. So lots of changes coming in. He's thinking of bringing into play, an academy league, so that we'll have the academies all around Ghana playing a league, sort of trying to replace the Colts one, because now we say Colts has now turned into academies. Yeah. So if he has something like that, at least we can unearth some talent here and there. So he has good plans for football, and with everything that is happening, looking at some of the things he's proposed to do you think that the future of Ghana football is bright?
The future of Ghana football has always been bright. Football undoubtedly is the pivot around which all our economy revolves. But it is also worth noting that in a world where we do have statuses and then pedigrees, in as much as we do have these statuses and pedigrees, it would always get to that point that we would give a preferential treatment to one thing. But you having status or a pedigree doesn't mean we should give preference to you at the expense of others. We are in a world where equity is very, very important. There is no denying the fact that football would always be the heartbeat of the country. But it is very fair that resources are equitably distributed. I would always go back to the issue of the Black Princesses. They are also a national team, for crying out loud. When they came back from having won, it wasn't as if they were kicked
Second
out.
or even not.
They were third or something. They came back from having won, and the rest is history. I wouldn't want to go back to not too impressive past. So if you just suppose, I'm not making a comparison. That was why I initially premised my statement on the fact that pedigrees and status also would always be there. But in the light of this, it's still very fair that there is that equity. Football goes beyond the Black Stars. It is true. Black Stars remains our flagship national team. But football goes beyond the Black Stars. Which one would we rather have? Black Stars crashing out at tournaments always, all our other national teams winning us laurels. Which one would we rather like?
That's a question. I'll prefer the other national teams bringing in laurels.
It is true. The Black Stars would always be our heartbeat. But we have incessantly pumped in so much at the detriment of the others. It gets to tournaments and the other teams are ill prepared, obviously because there is no money to fund their preparation. We incessantly pump all our resources into the Black Stars, which is not bad anyway. But if we are even doing 1/10 of that for the other national teams, at least our football would collectively be the beneficiary. If we are looking at a minister who has started some of these things, then the future is looking very, very bright. Because it's not as if he's chopping off these other, in quotes, unnecessary allocations and then put them in his coffers or put them somewhere else. He's looking at doing this so that football in general would be the overall beneficiary. So if some of these initiatives he has put in place are to see the light of the day, which I foresee them seeing the light of the day, because it's, as Perez was saying, it is the government in power that appointed him, and they are still in power. I don't know for how long they would be anyway. That I wouldn't want to veer in anyway. It's for the politicians to come and continue. Yeah. But for as long as his government is in power and he's been given the nod, Lante is not the one who can be bullied into subservience. No, he's not the one who can be coaxed or coerced easily. No. per what he has been doing, and looking at his track record, he's the tough guy who can really wash off the heat and then the critique that would come his way. So if some of these initiations are to see the light of the day, then football overall would be the general beneficiary. He alluded to the fact that some of these academies are doing very. He mentioned one academy. Was it the Right to Dream?
Right to Dream, yeah.
And it is the way to go now. Football, I keep saying, has transcended that era when it was used to settle a dispute between two fighting communities. No, we are in a generation where football has become a big brand, and it ought to be treated as such. It has got to the point where football transcends just two communities coming to play, or some hungry, God-forsaken children somewhere coming to exhibit their talent. No, it's got to be branded in that way. And he looking at bringing academies together to wipe off the colloquial, how do you people say, the fast fading Coles Football League, and is the way to go. So if many are the thoughts of a man, but they come into fruition is what matters most. He even harboring the thought is enough. It means he has some skeletal plan somewhere, and he has some ways to have them materialize. So he having brought these things alone is proof that he has not just come to occupy the seat for. It wasn't as if he came unprepared. He was just there, and then it got to a time he had to be appointed. It means he has a well cut out plan to carry out his plans, and that bodes well for the country going forward football wise.
Well, now Perez, I mean, with all the proposed changes that he's thinking of bringing in, are there other things that you think he must also look at to make sure that our football is where it's supposed to be, or takes its rightful place in the world of football?
Well, I think there is one thing that every sports journalist in the country has been clamoring for, and that's the signing of the sports bill. And yesterday he duly spoke about it, said that he's moving for it to be passed. From what I've heard so far, the passing of that bill will kind of solve almost all the problems that we are facing in this country. Really? So, and he's keen on making sure that that bill is passed at least before the election time. So it's one thing that I was looking forward to, as to the minister who can take up the challenge, because the sports bill has been in Parliament for close to a decade. So so it's good that Honorable Neil Van der Poel has seen the need and has seen how important the sports bill will be to the development of sports in Ghana, and he's now taking up the challenge, and he's moving and using his connections in the ministries as well as the presidency and Parliament for it to be passed. So it's one thing that I would want to see him do, and I hope he will do it. But with regards to the whole coach team and academy football, I think it comes back to his background as a journalist. Back then, he was aware of most players coming through the coach system. He saw the Stephen Pierce. Then now he knows that coach system it's no more sustainable. Now academy is the best way to go, and he has seen that not so many ministers have come and spoken the way he did. Honorable Elvis Sefrie spoke like a Black Star minister. The one whom he succeeded, for me, was too quiet. Whenever he spoke, you could clearly see that is someone who is not well abreast with the issues in the sports fraternity. But here comes a sports journalist, a sports administrator, formerly with Liberty Professionals. He knows what's in sports. He knows that, if my time, it was coach football. Now times has changed. And as a human being, I have to change to suit the time, what is going on now. And he thinks that academic football is the way to go. And yesterday he spoke of the fact that he's now, sending proposals to companies like Nestle, Ghana, etc., to make sure they come on board and sponsor various sporting activities in the country. I've heard that he secured sponsorship deal for the Ghana swimming team, and as well as other clubs. We all look at how fast and how drastic he paid the monies for the Black Queens, the Black Presence for their recent qualification. It shows you that the man has got a plan. I'm beginning to think that he came at the wrong time. I think that maybe if he had come earlier, if he had come earlier, maybe he would have done a lot of things. But now, as Murphy just said, better late than never. We still have some barely months to election, because campaign was to take part of his attention, because he's also standing for the parliament. So, but once he's doing some good job and once he's got a plan, maybe even before he leaves, he will leave a blueprint that the person who succeed him will follow suit and take our football to the level we want it to be.
Okay, well, that will be just about it when it comes to the Neil Van der Poel issue. We will need to see how all these things pan out. At least we would want to see some of the management members being cut down and all those other ones. Let's see how it pans out, and let's see how Black Stars reap in some of the match proceeds from Gates proceeds and all that, because now it looks as if
because I don't think there is any better opportunity other than Black Stars money for the National Sports Authority to take care of our stadium, apart from maybe the entertainment activity. So if he is putting measures in place, that will stop the leaking of money whenever Black Stars plays match, and he's making provisions. Yesterday he spoke of the fact that he's thinking of outsourcing Black Stars matches too, and which is quite good, because for me it's beautiful. And that's quite good. So if he's doing all these kind of things, I said, and I just hope that the men at the top, who appointed him, will not say that, okay, you are causing too much problem, because the FA can do a whole lot of things. The people at the National Sports Authority can do a whole lot of things, and if the guys at the top will continue supporting him and say, okay, no matter what they say, we are going to back you. Just do this for us. Just put the sports in Ghana at the position it's supposed to be. Fantastic.
Well, I mean, he made a good point yesterday when he said that he's trying to at least, outsource it to other, companies, private companies who might be interested in taking up Black Stars games, and say that, what, if you want to take care of Black Stars game, bring $3 million. The game is yours. High pace. Whatever you have to do, just take the match, the Gates proceeds, and everything that comes out of it. You think it's going to open up another industry in our football? Already we have Prime Media. We have other houses who are interested in organizing in the charter houses and the rest. I'm sure they might think hard and say, what, it's a fruitful event. Let's try and cough up $3 million US dollars and take the rights to organizing this Black Stars event. Hopefully it can bring up a new, kind of industry for Ghana.
Aside the fact that it is a breath of fresh air, a very creative and innovative idea, we find ourselves in a country where everything that is privatized seems to be flourishing and then thriving, in stark contrast to things that are left in the hands of government. People go like, oh, I buying there, and that is the country we find ourselves in. Sometimes you have to come within touch and distance of reality and say, this is how things ought to be done. So the man, I'm just falling in love with some of the plans he's putting in place. But as I keep saying, I just hope it wouldn't be mere word salad. It is something that would see the light of the day, because it's a brilliant idea. We find ourselves in a country that everything that is entrusted in the hands of the public servants, or in the hands of, in quotes, government, for some very inexplicable reasons, do not seem to flourish so well. But just privatize it, and it begins to flourish. It got to a point where the FA were talking about this PPP thing, and some of us were very interested in the private partnership alliance or something, and it never saw the light of the day. So if some of these things, conditional sentence, if some of these things would not remain in an endless pipeline, and but would see the light of the day.
Well, now that he said it, I'm sure it's up to these private companies who are interested to begin to put in a proposal and approach it, because once he said it, it means he has the interest of doing that. So it's up to them. If I'm a private businessman, I'll begin to put my things together and make sure that I sell to him a good proposal that would make him give me the next Black Stars match.
I think the honors lies on both parties equally. If the mountain doesn't move to Mohammed must do vice versa. If that is an idea you have conceived or you have birthed in your mind, even though the companies are supposed to come with proposals, nothing stops you
I think the companies will come. Black Stars matches are too attractive.
Sure, they are too attractive.
Once he said it, Charlie, the companies.
But I think he would also have his dream companies in mind. So if he could personally take some of the
proposals to them, so it won't be bad. But let's put that topic away and then move on to the UEFA Champions League. That happened this week. Lots of exciting games. I remember sitting here with Budu and Kwame Boachajimang, and then I think Alfred talking about the draw when the quarterfinal draws were made and some of the predictions they made. none of them saw City going through up until this point. I remember
not even Pellegrini.
Yeah, I remember Budu saying PSG will wipe them up because the monies that have been pumping into PSG and the likes of Ibrahimovic and everything, they want to make something happen for PSG, and that didn't happen. I remember one thing they said that actually happened was that if there's any team that can beat Barcelona, that is the team they've been paired with. That was Atletico Madrid, and it happened as well. I mean that they took Barcelona out of the competition, and then they went on to say that they think Bayern probably might get to the semis, beating Benfica because Benfica wasn't a match for them. But it's after the semis that it becomes more difficult, and now they've been paired with Real Madrid. It's a fantastic game. Pep Guardiola will be playing against his rivals, arch-rivals, and we'll be seeing how it happens. But let's look at the games as it happened this week. There was City, PSG, there was Wolfsburg, Real Madrid, and then there was also Benfica, Bayern Munich, Barca.